ForlornEncystment says, you once told an anecdote regarding scaring your wife by pretending you'd lost your car keys or something similar, and you said her reaction and subsequent conversation about it led you to change your beliefs regarding pranks. Okay, just for clarity, I'm gonna just retell the rudiments of that story so we can get past it. Yeah, early on in our relationship, my wife and I were getting into a car, and we were like, you know, it was one of those places where, I don't know, we were at some outdoor venue thing where we had walked a long way from our car to the thing, and now it was hours later and we were back at the car. And so I was just thinking, part of my brain scrolling all the time is often wondering what is the worst thing that could happen right now. It's a weird proclivity, but like I'm often like, oh, what would be the worst thing to happen right? And as we were approaching our car through this like muddy paddock or whatever it was, I was like, boy, it would suck so hard to lose the car keys. And then I thought of making a joke out of it. So when we got to the car, I was like, oh, I don't think I have the keys. And she was like, what? And I'm like, I'm just kidding. And my soon-to-be wife was like, yeah, look, you got to know, I don't have any truck with that kind of thing. Just none of it. I don't like the endorphin rush of something terrible might have just happened. I don't find that entertaining. I don't find it funny. And like, full stop, I totally agree. And I understood that I completely agreed the moment she said it. And I'll tell you, every couple of years, some circumstance will show up and I'll think of a worst case scenario and I'll think of a joke about it and I won't make it. I still think all the time about what's the worst thing that could happen at any moment. It's like a stress relief. I think one of the first times I did it, I was having dinner at my high school girlfriend's parents' house. So I'm like a junior, she's a freshman. And I was just imagining sitting there watching her father talk, not to me, but I was watching her father talk and I thought, what would he say if I just told him that I had sex with his daughter? Like, again, this was like stress relief with your in-laws, your girlfriend's family. And I would never say anything like that. Why would you do that? But again, it's sort of like a stress relief to think of the worst possible thing you can say. ForlornEncystment continues. I grew up in a home, he says. They say. I grew up in a home with parents and siblings who share a sometimes cruel humor, and I've had a hard time getting rid of my own, which has led to similar instances where I've hurt my wife's feelings without meaning to. How did you facilitate that change in yourself? Was it like a flick of a switch, or did it take you a while? Any advice? And did you find it easy to instill that same distaste for mean tricks in your children? Yeah, totally. I made the assumption that you're a dude, and I'm going to stand by that assumption from the style of your writing. I just get a sense that you are a male, man. And I'm bringing that up because I don't think you almost ever have to have this conversation with women. I'm making a big leap here. I haven't really thought through this answer, but like, I think men are far less institutionalized with empathy than women are. And you ask if I had a hard time getting rid of my own prank ideas. The answer is no. The moment my wife said that to me, I realized she gave me in that statement a phrase that zoomed me out of my head and put me in hers to see what that would feel like. And the moment I did, I resolved to never again do that to somebody. Like, why would I want to have that fear show up inside of someone, that thing of like the worst thing that could happen? Why would I want to induce that into somebody? And there certainly was a couple of moments in which I thought of playfully pretending to be mad with my kids, and Jesus, that was the dumbest thing. I did that once, and I saw this look on their face. I'm like, I'm so sorry, never mind, I'm never gonna do that again. Like, I am way too big of a presence for them to be like, oh, ha, ha, ha. I mean, to do that with a child, right, where they can't even tell you why they felt complicated feelings. Pranks, the problem with pranks is that they exist at this balance point. And it is that what the pranks sit on top of that balance point, but not evenly. It's really, really easy to make pranks be cruel, and it's really hard to make them fun. And that's why I don't prank. We got asked on Mythbusters if Jamie and I pranked each other. And the answer is no. It stems from an incident, but also from institutional knowledge that Jamie and I had. The incident is that I sleep in moving vehicles really well. I love sleeping in moving vehicles. When the door of the airplane closes and the cabin pressurized, it's like I fall right to sleep. I sleep in cars, I sleep in trains, and I sleep on the way to the location. And I also, back then, in the beginning of Mythbusters, I was 30 pounds heavier and I snored a lot. I snored loudly and a lot. And it would really shit Jamie. He'd be in the seat ahead of me. I'd be in the way back, right? Lying down and snoring away. And Jamie would be like, Jesus Christ, this guy. And he, at one point, took a bottle of water and I was sleeping and he just started pouring it on my jeans right here on the top of my crotch, just slowly, a little bit at a time, until I woke up because I was having the weirdest dream where everything was wet. And I woke up and I looked into the seat in front of me and I could see Jamie, the back of Jamie's head. And Jamie he's got a mood head. His head changes color depending upon his mood. And in this heavy mood he was in, because he was thinking this is hilarious, his head was bright red. And I smacked him on the back of his head. Yeah, no, I was just like really clear, like, phew. And I was like, do you want to do this? Because I will find the one thing that's funny to everybody but you. And he was like, you're absolutely right. I'll never prank again. And neither of us did. We were like nuclear powers. The institutional knowledge we have, and I'm going to tell this is not a great story, comes from another shop that was up here in the Bay Area that had a real prank culture. It's from a long time ago. It's not ILM. And the prank culture was such that there was a guy in that shop who had always been talking about how much he wanted to work at ILM. You're in a model shop in the Bay Area. Of course, Industrial Light and Magic will be the godhead. And he talked a lot about wanting to go there until one of his coworkers left a message on his machine, supposedly from ILM, saying, come in to work on Monday. This was a prank. That person was so excited about getting called up to the big leagues that they showed up to ILM on Monday with their wife and kid in the car because they were so proud. And then they were escorted from the premises by security. That's the story I was told. That's like, I don't care what you think about a person. That is a terrible thing to do to somebody. That prank was not funny and not kind. And, and not to say that the people who pulled that prank are bad people at all. They aren't. But that shop had a prank culture. And that's what that kind of thing can engender. And it's not cool. Like, not cool at all. So it was very easy for me to give up pranking. Families that do lots of pranking, man, I read about them all the time on Am I the Asshole, Am I the Jerk subreddits. And it's just like, it's awful. It's awful to induce those super negative fight or flight emotions in people dishonestly and improperly and for your own recreation. There we go. That's what I think about that. Thank you for watching. I wanted to talk to you about Tested membership. The Tested members are a key community that we find really, really remarkable. That's very separate from Tested and from YouTube. The Tested members, they buy each other memberships during our live streams. So if you're wondering whether to become a member, watch one of our live streams and someone may just give you one. It is hard to overestimate how much the Tested members actually make possible on this channel. They give us a lot of wiggle room. They give us a huge amount of feedback.
That's a member right now.
Thank you so much for enjoying your membership. Description for everything you need to know. And for all the members out there, thank you, thank you, thank you.